Hello. So, when this film came out earlier this weekend, all the Disney fans on my various social media platforms were, oh, I'm gonna go see this and I'm probably gonna cry. I'm ready to bawl. And I must admit this movie nearly brought me to tears. Not for the reasons it wanted to, but it almost did. Because watching it, a stone-cold reality just smacked me right in the face. A reality that I think a lot of us have known for a while, but we didn't want to admit. But I think with this thing, we finally have to kind of come to a very difficult conclusion, and that is Tim Burton just has nothing left to say. And I don't say that with any degree of joy, with any degree of ha ha ha, you know, I'm glad he failed or whatever. It's just, so many of you are so young, you don't remember when this guy dropped onto the scene with Batman. All right? Now, in fairness, Batman and Batman Returns, they have not aged well. But here we had a visually stunning filmmaker who had a voice, things to say that we had not heard and had not heard in the way he had to tell them. And he continued this on into things like Beetlejuice. Again, not my cup of tea as I've gotten older. Loved it as a kid, and then Edward Scissorhands, and then things like, Big Fish and Ed Wood, both of which I regard as genuine masterpieces. I love both those movies. They are amazing. And Sleepy Hollow is also cool, but that's beside the point. But then things just went wrong. And I think we've been looking for a reason as to why this is. Why has this happened? And all the shitty remakes he's done and all that. And I think the answer is, honestly, Tim Burton doesn't have anything left to say. With his early films, he had a voice. He had a point he was trying to make. A story he was trying to tell. Something he was desperately trying to get out there. Something he loved. Or something that had affected him. And I don't believe that's the case anymore. He is still a visually stunning filmmaker. There are some amazing visuals in this movie, but there's nothing behind them. It's flat. It's lifeless. There is no substance. It kind of reminds me, another guy that a lot of people debate about is Kevin Smith. Another big filmmaker from the 90s who just kind of petered out. And again, I believe the same thing, that after the View Askew films, Kevin just didn't have anything left to say. And part of what makes a great filmmaker is not just a great directorial eye, it's having something to say with it. And when they don't have anything to say, you can have a great looking film, but it doesn't mean anything if it's just there. And that's what I think this film finally kind of cemented for me. That's why these films just haven't worked, is he's got nothing to say with them. And that is the nicest thing I'm going to say about this movie. The rest of it, I'm going to warn people, there is going to be there's going to be a lot of profanity for this review of a family film. So if you got a problem with that, check out now. Okay? Because it's only going to get worse from here. Oh man, this thing. Oh, I've said it before, and I will continue to say it because I got at least 2 more of these this year that I probably will go see. These fucking Disney live-action remakes, boy. Holy shit. These things are such a waste of time, money, and energy from everybody involved, from the people at the top all the way down to the audience. And yet, we still shell out the money for them, and they keep fucking making them. Disney fans, listen. Oh, Dudley, no. I've lost the, anyway. Disney fans, I get it. I really do. All right? If something has the name Jim Henson on it, I'm going to see it. But I am also a pure enough fan and a loyal enough fan that I can admit when something that bears the Muppet or Jim Henson name isn't good. And I know you hardcore Disney fans just want to lap up everything they give you. But folks, it's time to face facts. These live-action remakes are shit. At the best, they're mundane. And before anybody jumps on me, Christopher Robin does not count. Christopher Robin is not a remake. Okay? They're not remaking the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Now, you can consider it a live-action sequel or a continuation or something like that, but it does not count, so don't come back at me with that. But these live-action remakes, folks, they're shit. They're pure shit, and it's time we all just agree to that fact and move on. All right? Because either they're shot-for-shot remakes that are so worried about fixing things that people have nitpicked to death over the years that it deletes any semblance of story, or they are so busy trying to do everything in such a different way that they forget what made the original beloved in the first place. What made Dumbo beloved, and let's not even talk about the crows, all right? Let's not even get into that. Let's talk about the movie itself. What made the original Dumbo beloved was Dumbo. It was a classic, one of the things that Disney does, or did, of having a whole movie whose central character didn't talk, and all of his emotion and all of his story was told through the mouse, Jiminy. What was the mouse's name? Now I cannot remember the mouse's name. The mouse, or Dumbo's expressions, how he did it. This movie is not about Dumbo. It's about all the stupid ass humans and how they fucking relate to Dumbo, because you can't do the same mind thing with a CGI elephant. And let's also get this said here. The CGI of this movie and all of these Disney live action remakes are terrible. How? Okay, I understand that probably your better CGI folks are probably all working on the Marvel films, but where does all that money from the Marvel films go except to buy Fox? I mean, you gotta afford better than this. Seriously, the CGI in this is just atrocious. And on top of that, they're trying to make the elephant look real, but you can't then have the elephant miming and have it express as much emotion, because then it just looks really fucking scary. When they bring Dumbo out in the clown makeup, that's scarier than the fucking Joker from The Dark Knight. Oh my god. And Jesus, they make such jumps in logic in this movie. Again, I know we're talking about logic in a movie about a flying elephant is kind of, an oxymoron, but stick with me here. I don't, so Danny DeVito runs the circus. He buys Dumbo's mom, who gives birth to Dumbo, and Danny DeVito was all happy to have a baby elephant, but oh no, the elephant has big ears! It's a freak! Get it out! That makes no fucking sense! It was still a baby elephant, and the big ears made it cute! People would still have paid to see that! And then, they do the whole thing where they try to hide the ears. Hide the ears! Oh, we can't have people see that an elephant has big ears! And then during one of the shows, the elephant, pops, the ears pop out, and the crowd becomes the fucking lynch mob from Hunchback of Notre Dame! It's like, Jesus Christ, the elephant has big ears. Calm the fuck down. Oh. Yes, they make that jump right away. So yeah, the human characters. I have no segue here. The human characters. What a cluster. All right, I got to talk about this. And one thing I hate doing in any review is bad-mouthing child actors, because they're kids. All right, they're fucking kids. You know, they're doing the best they can, and I am not trying to be a person. I don't want to be one of those people, you know, who drove Jake Lloyd into, you know, therapy. You know, I don't want to be that, but I gotta talk about our main child character, the daughter of our main character, Colin Farrell, who is one of the most irritating characters, not just kid characters, but characters in one of these movies in a long ass time. First of all, she has one character trait. She likes science. She likes science. Science. And if you don't know that, she will repeat it, and everybody else will repeat it in reference to her over and over and over again. And she's like Benny from the Lego movie. Liking spaceships was his one defining trait. Liking science is her one defining trait. That and a face that does not make expressions. This kid is a fucking Vulcan. Stone-faced. I like science. I like science. We'll do this the science way. Never makes an expression. There's a scene where Dumbo is on this really high rise, and through circumstance he's like slipped off, and his legs are off, and he's scrambling to get off. Everybody's, ah! They show her, she's like, nothing. Twice in this movie she smiled, and it looked like it was causing her physical pain. Okay? And I also have a real problem with the father-daughter dynamic in this movie. So, Colin Farrell, while he was off in World War I and lost an arm, his wife died of influenza. So the man has come home with clearly traumatic experiences from the war, lost an arm, lost his livelihood, his wife is dead, and his daughter just treats him like shit. Just absolute treats him like shit. And he doesn't do anything really bad about. He doesn't do anything bad. They try to sell this whole, you know, he's not supporting her dream of science because she loves science so damn much. But it doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel right. I mean, he's playing this whole, you know, cowpoke, golly gee willikers, you know, with this really terrible accent. But it doesn't make sense that he wouldn't support his kid. None of that makes sense. And they try to always, you know, your children just need you to believe in them. He believed in them. I'm sorry, but if my kids ran to me and said, that elephant flew, I would be skeptical too. Sorry, I just don't jump right on the believing train with you there. Oh, and I also got to talk about Superfluous Boy. So Colin Farrell actually has, whichever Colin he is, actually has two kids in this. Vulcan Girl and Superfluous Boy. The brother. He has no purpose in this movie. Absolutely none. There's no purpose. Nothing. He has barely any screen time. No character growth. That's it. It's like, who are you? Why are you here? It's like, what is this? Michael Keaton as evil Thomas Edison. Well, Michael Keaton, this is another thing that I was just like going, what? This makes no sense. Michael Keaton, first of all, his performance is all over the map. He's the villain, but they can't decide if he's a goofy villain, an actually scary villain, if we're not supposed to believe he's the villain. Like, he's all over. He's like a much better actor doing a Jesse Eisenberg, Lex Luthor. But anyway, here's the thing that just baffles me. So he plays this guy who runs this super futuristic amusement park, who goes and swindles you know, Danny DeVito into bringing his troupe and Dumbo to the bigger park and out of the little circus. And the place is set up to kind of be early Disneyland. So, a Walt Disney picture making a remake of a Walt Disney classic is painting Walt Disney as the bad guy? What? Isn't that kind of biting the hand that feeds you? And Alan Arkin shows up in this, and I honestly believe, maybe it's just how good of an actor Alan Arkin is, but I don't think Alan Arkin ever actually reads a script. I think he just says whatever comes to his mind and they just film it. Because that's what it always looks like. He always looks so... Everybody else is like being in very period. He's playing almost the same character he played in Argo. And it seems like just he stepped out of a time machine. Okay, this is also one of my favorite moments in this movie, just that I laughed and is that, okay, so they do the whole thing where, you know, after the lynch mob is like yelling and pelting peanuts at Dumbo. I gotta describe this whole scene. Pelting peanuts at him. The mama Jumbo goes nuts and tries to defend the baby. This leads to the mean elephant trainer getting fucking killed by a falling beam. Like, fucking crushed. And it's like such a swift tonal shift. It's like oh no, ah, crunch. And it's like, fuck. So that happens. So naturally they cart Mama away. Or they lock her up. So 20-some minutes into this, they do the Baby Mine song. And I am sorry, this is another problem with these damn Disney remakes. They are in such a fucking hurry to shoehorn in all of the famous sayings or famous moments from these Disney films that they don't understand why those moments worked. That Baby Mine song worked because for the better part of the film, Dumbo and his mom are separated. And he goes and sees her finally, and it is this heart-wrenching scene. It's one of the most heart-wrenching scenes in an early Disney film. I'd say the only thing that rivals that are the dogs at the dog pound and Lady and the Tramp. And they do it so early after they've barely, you know, they haven't been apart. You don't earn that fucking moment. You don't earn it. You can't have that moment just because it's there. And that just pissed me off. It's like I nearly screamed that in the theater. You didn't earn that fucking moment. So then, this gets better. This is actually, I've taken a detour here. Let's talk about my actual favorite line in this movie. So, Mama Jumbo gets carried away. The Vulcan Girl and Superfluous Boy. There's a song for Next to Normal for you. So Vulcan Girl and the Superfluous Boy are comforting Jumbo, who the boy says, there, baby Dumbo, because during the fracas, the sign of Jumbo got switched and said Dumbo, and everybody was calling him that. And Vulcan Girl says, "You're going to call him that?" He says, "Well, if we call him Jumbo Jr., it'll make him miss his mother." So calling him Dumbo is better? Hey there, I know you miss your family, so I'm not going to call you by your given name. I'm going to call you Dumb Shit from now on. There, feel better now, Dumb Shit? What the fuck logic is that? He misses his mother, so let's call him something really demeaning and heartbreaking. Oh my God. So is this movie totally without merit? No. There are two things good about this movie. The first is that it is a Tim Burton movie, and yet we have absolutely no sign of Johnny Depp walking around in bad makeup and a stupid hat. So, yay victory. We've moved forward. Number two, Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito is awesome, and it's so good to see Danny DeVito again. I love Danny DeVito. And he's playing, and he is just bringing all of his charm to this character. Like, when Danny DeVito was on stage, when Danny DeVito was doing stuff, I'm like, yep, I'm good with this. Why couldn't the movie have just been about Danny DeVito? So Danny DeVito was fantastic in this. Other than that, I don't know what to tell you. I legitimately don't know what to tell you outside of what I have already told you. This film is nothing. Again, it has some striking visuals. It is Tim Burton, and he does know his shit. But again, there is absolutely nothing behind it. The story isn't about Dumbo. It's about the humans around him, and even they don't have character arcs or you know, consistency. The characters are all over the place, you know, and any of their wants and needs, who I guess we're supposed to be rooting for, we don't get enough screen time or don't get flushed out enough because we're on to the next reference. So yeah, I'm trying to think. There's other things I laughed at, just going, oh my god. Okay. But I can't think of any. So let's wrap this up. So final grade for Dumbo. You know what? An F for this one. You know, it's an F, guys. And I don't know what else to say about these live action Disney remakes. Maybe one of them will surprise me, but I'm not holding out hope. So, I guess to wrap this review up, there really is only one last thing to say about this Dumbo. Oh, this was the blandest show. Oh, this was the blandest show. Oh, this was the blandest show. Drive safe, and I'll see you at the movies.